Hi there, everyone. This is take 2 of Confessions of a Domestic Engineer, the Christmas special. Alright, so this episode contains a lot of kind of personal information that it's going to sound weird to talk about because I'm trying to tell it in a way that I don't make anybody look bad because nobody should look bad. And I'm also trying to tell it in a way where I can explain where my frame of mind is now in regard to the holiday season. Let me start with this year marks the 25th anniversary of the first time I worked Christmas in retail. I'm working the Christmas season in retail again, but it's different in my job now. It's not the same. Not in the slightest the same. But the first 10 years of my life working in the workforce, I worked in one of Canada's largest former retailers. And I worked there for a decade. And my attitude towards Christmas when I first started there versus my attitude towards Christmas when I left there, drastically different. I mean, they were so different that, oh man, I really, to this day, I will still say that, that scarred me with Christmas. I don't feel that way so much about Christmas at retail now, but once again, my job now has nothing to do with Christmas in that way. What would be our Christmas is technically in September, so it's not the same. Moving on. Now, I do have my conspiracy theory rants about Christmas, but I'm going to keep those to myself because I have real issues with how Christmas has been co-opted for extreme capitalistic gains, but I'm not going to get into that. We're going to ignore that. And I'm just going to focus on the me, the I lived. All right, that's why I talked about the working in retail. All right. Okay, so my parents divorced. They divorced after my 9th birthday, but my birthday happens to be in the same month as Christmas, so I had one more Christmas after my 9th birthday with my parents. But the Christmas just after I turned 10, so literally the same month after I turned 10, was the first Christmas I experienced with my parents being divorced. My kids, their biological father and their mother divorced when they were significantly younger than that. My son was 2, my daughter was 6. Keep in mind, when my parents divorced, I do have a sister. There's about the same age gap between me and my sister. So if I was 10, my sister, it would have, I would have been 10. It would have been right before my sister would have turned 6. All right. So, as both a child and as a parent, because I am a parent when it comes to my kids. I'm still a parent to this day. My son lives with me still, not with his mom anymore, and he still lives with me, so I'm still an active parent in his life. Okay? Alright. Just because people always like to say that step-parents aren't the same. Step-parents can be the same. They can. Just depends on how the family is. Okay, moving on. Alright. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, I have gotten to watch the whole thing, okay? kid through up into a parent. And after my parents divorced, me and my sister really kind of started to develop a dislike towards Christmas for a variety of different reasons. And some of the reasons could sound petty, and there's no good way to explain them that they don't sound petty, even though they're not really, because I'm trying to explain it from the child's perspective, right? And there's certain things that, you know, also are affected by the different parents behaving in different ways on their own, or the different environments in general. And the reason why I say this is my mom's family were very much kind of gift givers at Christmas, okay? And there was enough of that family over the years when me and my sister were kids, because we had, not only did we have grandparents, but we had 2 great-grandparents as well. I mean, they were, you know, the married great-grandparents. My mom's parents, they were still both alive and well and active and in the family when me and my sister were kids. And, you know, my grandmother had a sister who was very much active and part of our lives as well. Still is to this day. You know, my grandma and Miss Aunt are still very much part of our lives, but we're not kids anymore. So I put my foot down about Christmas, and I'll get into that. Okay, so where I'm going with that is, so there would be gifts from all of them under the tree, okay? And then my mom's brother would also, you know, me and my sister were the only kids in the family. So everybody just kind of, you know, all right, well, they're the only kids in the family. We kind of got spoiled that way, right? Like, if there were other kids in the family, things might have been a different story. But we were the only kids in the family, so we kind of got spoiled on my mom's side. And then on my dad's side of the family, there were more kids, per se. So, like, my dad and my dad's youngest brother and I, there's only a 10-year gap between us. You know, so I kind of got thrown in with the kids that way, and then my sister kind of got shoehorned into it a little bit. And me and my sister, when we were younger, we did, you know, we got spoiled by my dad's mom because, you know, oh, we're grandbabies, we get spoiled. Okay, but that slowly dissipated after my parents divorced as well, just because at that point, my grandmother we were kids, we were harder to shop for, so we just got gift certificates instead or whatnot, which was great because, you know, I wanted to go to the music store, so I got gift certificates for the music store or whatever, right? Perfect gifts. Okay, that's not where I'm going with it. Okay, where I'm trying to go with this, though, is that's grandma, right? You know, that's grandma, you know. Anyways, my dad, coming from that type of family where there was more kids, so there wasn't, you know, and not a lot of extra family, you got 1 or 2 quality gifts under the tree. So that's how my dad's mentality was. My mom's family just was a little more about you spoil the kids, right? So we got spoiled a little bit more. Not that we got spoiled a lot, let me be very clear, but when you see those Hollywood movies where all these gifts are under the tree and they're piled to the rafters and blah, 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 those Christmases happened right up until my parents got divorced. Okay, I've got more than a few pictures of it. But that was because we were always together kind of thing. Like, the whole family was always kind of together at Christmas. So it was just an illusion of a large family being together and only like a few gifts from each family member under the tree, okay? All right, now the reason why I mention all this is not because when my parents divorced, you know, my dad wasn't giving us enough gifts. He wasn't buying our love enough, and my mom was buying our love. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, I'm not going there at all. What I'm trying to say is that mentality, okay, is the same mentality that my ex-wife grew up in as well, because she had that going on with her mom and her mom's extended family, whereas her bio dad really, I'm not going to get into her personal life, but her bio dad had a different thing, which was not equivalent at all to what my dad and my interactions was. Me and my dad's interactions were a lot different than that. Okay. Okay. So, and I don't mean that in a sick, twisted way either, in any of that. I just mean, like, my dad was a dad. Her dad was deadbeat. Alright. So, because of the interactions we had as kids with our families, with our mom's side specifically, as the mom, my ex always felt that we had to replicate these same huge Christmases. The problem was, there wasn't the same kind of familiar effects going on that went on when we were kids. You know, because my mom would bring over the gifts from my family when she'd come over to do Christmas, because, you know, my mom wants to see the kids open up their gifts, right? You know, it's kind of a normal thing when you're giving a gift to kids, especially. You want to see that look at their face, you know, just go, whoa! Alright, or anybody when you're buying a gift, right? You take the time and effort to actually buy a gift for someone, you want to see that, whoa! Okay, so because of that, my mom would bring over the gifts later, so those were gifts that weren't under the tree. So it'd basically be me and my now ex buying all these gifts to try and fill out under this tree. And it would cost a fortune. Yeah. So it got to a point where by the time my daughter was 16 and my son would have been around 12, I had enough of the overspending on Christmas, especially when I was seeing how much of it was just we were buying stuff that we thought they might like, and I mean, parents will understand watching this, you know, when you find that gift the next year right before Christmas, when you go in to clean out the bedroom before Christmas the next year to get rid of all the garbage and make room for the new Christmas gifts, and you find those ones that haven't been wrapped yet, where you could actually, you wonder if you grabbed them and rewrapped them and put them under the tree, would they even notice? Okay, so, moving along. This caused a lot of friction between me and my ex, especially at Christmas. There was other things that would cause friction between me and my ex at Christmas as well. Part of it would honestly be work, job environment. But in the time, because in the time where my kids were the youngest, we were both working in retail. We were both working at the same evil corporation. And we were both working poor. You know, we were absolutely working poor. We did not get wages that were compatible, and they tried to justify full-time hours as 30 hours or 28 hours a week because they had to pay us benefits. You know, even though we paid into a huge chunk of our benefits, it was an absolute scam and a joke. That's why I refer to them as the evil corporation. But doing that in retail, and it was a major, like, huge retailer too, and because of that, you know, and having to hear the Christmas music the whole day long, we wrapped that all together, it burnt me out on Christmas. And it got to a point where I said, when my son turned 18, I would never celebrate a Christmas ever again. Ever. And I was adamant I would never celebrate another Christmas again once he turned 18. Like, the Christmas after he turned 18 was not be a douche completely. But at that point, both my kids would be grown-ass adults. And, you know, one would definitely be old enough that, you know, she could have a job and buy whatever she wants for herself. So I don't need to buy her crap anymore. The other one would just be getting into that world, and, you know, you focused more on that, just getting into that world thing. Okay, so funny part is that I didn't even make it to the 18th Christmas. We The mom and I, we split just after his 17th birthday, and I never celebrated another Christmas again. I celebrated some winter solstice after that, but I never celebrated Christmas again. I still don't celebrate Christmas to this day. I do go for Christmas dinners. Why not? I absolutely love going for Christmas dinners. Tasty, tasty food. Get together with a bunch of people, say hi, a little bit of merriment. Drain my people meter. You know, it's like The Sims, you know, you get a little meter going on over top of you, your conversation, you spend too much time around people, your social meter drops. Especially, you know, just, I don't want to do this, I want to do this. Your social media, just write it down, and it's like, alright. Then you go hide for like the next 2-3 days. So, dinners, woohoo! I go celebrate dinners with anybody else that was doing any other type of happy holiday thing. So, that being said, people say Merry Christmas to me all the time. I don't celebrate Christmas, but I always say thank you, and I say same to you. Sometimes I might just parrot back Merry Christmas to you too. Sometimes I say and a happy holiday. Sometimes I say and a happy new year. Sometimes, most of the time, it's just thank you and same to you. I don't do Christmas. I'm done with Christmas. I wanted to share that with you on Christmas Day when I'm done with Christmas. I'd also like to point out, I have no idea what music's been playing in the background this whole time. I wrote the music, you know, EDM style afterwards, using whatever Christmas music I had readily available with notation, so I could just throw it in and puff it up to match the sound. Alright folks, hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell for notifications. Leave me your comments below. Let me know what you think about the wonderful time that is Christmas. I never even got into the religious part, did I? Oh, that's funny, right? Christian? Yeah, I don't celebrate Christmas. Okay, anyways. And yes, I'm actually a big fan of Jesus. My favorite socialist hippie. Okay. Moving on, like button, subscribe button, bell for notifications. There's a link to Patreon below if you want to show some of that festive holiday cheer. Peace, love, take care, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever the hell all the other ones are this time of year, because I don't think Ramadan's going on, and I don't know what other ones are. Alright, we're out.